Yarny friends, I'm Sara Sach. Welcome back to my crochet channel. Today's video is also a Friday fun day, and I'm super excited about this fun project. This is a gift that is a coaster that can also be a gift tag. I went online, I copied off some of these free printables. There's a whole bunch of them on there, lots of different styles, and I printed them on sticky back paper, what we make labels out of, basically. And then I cut one out. I'm going to show you on the back of this one, and I just wrote on there to Mom from Dad, and then I put it on there. It makes a great gift tag, and then if they want to use this as a coaster, this just peels right off, or they can leave it on there. You can also use this as a simple Christmas ornament if you want to. I think they make great gift tags and coasters. They're super easy to make. If you can do a single crochet in a chain, you can make these. And the best part about this is I've done mine just out of leftover cotton yarns that I have on hand, and we'll talk more about yarns in just a couple of minutes. Now it measures approximately 5 inches tall by 4 inches wide, so it's a nice size for even some of those big hot cocoa mugs. Isn't that a cute one? It's just a really super fun project, super versatile, super easy, and you know I love to say super because it is a super duper fun project. Now you can find the complete pattern on my blog as always, and I'll put that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. All right, now I forgot to also mention these make really great gift to give, like make a set of 6 or something and give that to somebody. I did think it was really cool to take these and kind of roll them up, maybe find them a festive mug and put a coaster inside it to go with it. Lots of fun things like that. This time of year, it's fun to come up with some fun things to give as gifts to have around when people drop in and just say hello. And you can go to Dollar Tree, pick up a bunch of really fun Christmas cups, and make a bunch of these with your leftover cottons. And these are a bunch of just Christmas and solid cottons that I've used for other projects. I've got lots of solid colors, variegated, and you can do lots of different things with this pattern. This one is just a variegated. It's this one. I believe I got that at Hobby Lobby. I'm not for certain. Might have been Premier. I can't remember, because I just have a lot of leftovers. Now this one, I decided to make it a checkerboard. And so I just did 2 of each color on each row for 2 rows, and then I switched. Super easy. I love this bright green too. I like how that turned out. Now the other one on the bag is a variegated that's just a red and white. I don't know what brand it is. I've had it forever, and I thought it kind of looked like peppermint stripes, and then I used white. And so you can do lots of different things. Now another thing is you don't have to go with traditional colors. Purple and yellow would be pretty. How about blue and white for a frosty appearance? And you can also use some of your yarns that are glitter yarns. Now I prefer to use cotton yarns for all of my coasters, but if you're going to make gift tags, you can use acrylic, and we're using medium weight number 4 yarns. So you need a little bit, maybe an ounce of one color and a ½ ounce of the trim color and the bow of any medium weight number 4 cotton or acrylic, depending on what you're going to use it for. I always like to do my coasters in cotton because they do absorb the sweat, but it's winter, and if you're going to just be having hot cocos and hot coffee, you could always, hot cider too, yum. You could always make them out of acrylic as well. So just check in your yarn stash. Don't go out and buy a bunch. Use the yarns you have on hand. And so not only is this a Friday Fun Day project, it's also a scrap happy project. Alrighty. Now, We're going to be using our H hook, which is a 5mm crochet hook. You need a needle just to weave in your ends and a pair of scissors and whatever cotton yarns you want to use. I think I'm going to do a solid with this golden green. I think that would be really pretty for today's project. The last thing I wanted to mention is these printable tags. I just went online. I put in my search engine free printable gift tags, and a whole bunch of fun things come up. And I liked this one. It has a candy cane on it and a little reindeer here, Rudolph. And you can just put that in your search engine. And a lot of them, you go right to their site and they'll let you just print it off right off their site. Some of them you may have to copy and paste into like a Word document and print them off that way. And this is just your typical sticky paper we use for making labels. I have some extras left over from some that my son gave me actually, and I used them for this, and I love this one and this one, but there's a ton out there, and you may want to go with a theme. I was actually looking for some with cardinals on them, but I didn't find any that were playful enough. All right, so let's get in our yarn stash and let's make some Christmas gift coasters. So we're going to begin with our main color, but I've got my second color ready for when it's time to change colors. All right, so we're going to begin with our slip knot, and we're going to chain 17 chains. Now I do recommend that you do this beginning chain just a little bit loose because we're going to be stitching in rows, and you don't want one end of your package coaster to be kind of puckered in. You want it to lay nice and flat. All right, so we're going to chain 17 just a little bit loose. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. So I've got 17 chains. I'm going to go in the second chain from the hook and stitch a single crochet. And now I'm just going to stitch 1 single crochet in each of my chains all the way across. One single crochet in each of our chains. We chained 17 chains, just a little bit loose. We began in the second chain from the hook and stitched 1 in each across, so we have 16 single crochets. And then I chained 1, and we're going to turn our work. Now we're going to stitch 1 single crochet in each of those 16 single crochets across. There we go. And chain 1. So now we have 2 rows of single crochet. And what you're going to do is you're going to continue to repeat row 2 for 4 more rows. So we'll chain 1, turn, and single crochet. So we're going to repeat row 2 for 4 more rows. I have repeated row 2 for 4 more rows, so we have 6 rows of single crochet. I did not chain 1 because we're going to bring in our second color. And this is for that ribbon stripe down the center because it actually sits this way. We've got that ribbon stripe coming down the center. All right, so I'm going to bring in my gold that I'm using for my color 2. And then I'm going to chain 1. And remember, when you're changing colors, Whether you have a chain 1, chain 2, or chain 7, always do that with your new color, or you'll end up with a little bump. Like here, it would have a little bump of green where we don't want that. We're not going to cut our green yarn. We're going to leave it attached and carry that up because we're just going to do 2 rows of the gold, all right? Or color 2. So we've changed to our new color, and we'll go right in that first stitch because our chain 1s do not count as a stitch, and we're going to just repeat what we did on row 2. We're going to stitch 1 single crochet in each of the single crochets across, and then we're going to chain 1 and turn and do another row in the gold color or the color 2. And again, any colors that you want. I love a project like this because you can use up a bunch of small amounts of yarns and make some really pretty items that can be used for gifts and decoration for the Christmas and holiday season. All right, so 1 row there of our new color. I'm going to chain 1 and turn and just repeat. And I'm really liking this green, sort of sage green with this gold color. Isn't that pretty? All right, so I'll just continue across and then we'll change back to our color 1. I finished that row of our color 2. We're going to go ahead and cut our color 2 off. All right, so we're going to bring in our color 1. Make sure we snug everything down. We carried that yarn, so we don't want that to droop. We're going to chain 1 after the color change and turn. And now we're just going to stitch 1 single crochet in each of those single crochets across, just like we've been doing. Like I said, if you can do a single crochet and a chain, you can do this project. And I like a project like this that's great for everybody, no matter what your crochet skill is. All right, so I'm almost to the end of the row here. Chain 1 and turn, and so now we're going to repeat this for 5 more rows so that I have 6 rows here like I have here. So we're going to repeat this row for 5 more rows. I have completed those additional rows, so we have 6 rows of our color 1, 2 rows of our color 2, and then 6 rows of our color 1. And now what we're going to do is just cut off our color 1, and we are done with color 1. Now we're going to bring in our color 2, because this is the color of our ribbon and our bow. And so what we're going to do, drop that string out of the way there. All right, we'll go ahead and chain 1. We're going to work down the side, stitching single crochets, just like we did on all these other rows, until we get to that corner. And when we get down to that corner, we're going to stitch a single crochet, chain 1, and single crochet in the corner. And what we're going to do is we're going to work down, across. We'll make sure we stitch over that trailed yarn, and of course these will need to be weaved in. Then we'll come across here and do the single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, work back up here, and then we'll work right over here and make our bow and then finish. Okay, so I'm going to continue across this first side, or I should say down the first side, till I reach that first corner. Again, all single crochets. So I've single crocheted down this first side I'm in this corner. I stitched a single crochet. I'm going to chain one and then stitch a single crochet right in that corner. And that's just going to help it move smoothly around the corner. And now we're going to stitch evenly single crochets across the bottom. Now, if you want to make it nice and neat, try to go in the sides of the stitches and not the holes. See how I'm going in the side of that stitch? All right, now I'm to that center portion, and we want to make sure we stitch around that yarn that we carried, as we don't want that showing through. All right, let me move those out of the way. Yes, we'll grab our needle and weave those in. All right, so now I'm just going to continue across to this next corner. So we stitched across. I stitched a single crochet, chain one single crochet in this corner, and now I'm just working up, and these are our other side of our chain where we started our beginning chain. And we'll just stitch a single crochet in each of those till we reach that last corner. So I've stitched all the way around. I've got my single crochet, chain one single crochet in these three corners, and now we're to the center where we're going to make our ribbon. So right here on that first spot there, we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to slip stitch in the side of that first stitch, and now we're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we'll slip stitch in that same stitch. There we go. Oops. All right. All right, now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll slip stitch in the side of that next stitch. All right, I'm going to go ahead and single crochet next to it so that you can see how that lays, and it forms like a little crown that makes a nice little bow. All right, so now I'm just going to single crochet evenly across till I reach that next corner. All right, we've already got a single crochet there, so I just need to chain 1 and join to that first single crochet. All right, let's go ahead and cut our yarn. We're going to go in that next stitch there, grab that loop and pull it to the back, and tie that off. Now, we do have a few ends to weave in, and so I'm going to grab my needle. I'm going to turn it back over real quick so you can see how cute that is. There's our bow. Okay, we've got kind of a little fancy bow. It's very easy but very cute. Now, if you wanted to add, say, a little button or a little something here, just to add a little more, you could. There's plenty of room to do that without worrying about it messing with the cup that's going to sit there. Okay, so I'm going to turn this over, and I'm just going to start weaving all these ends in. So that it's nice and tidy. I don't recommend doing any knots on this sort of thing because you don't want anything that's going to cause a bump if you put a cup on there that's going to knock that over. All right, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to go, looks like. So I have completed this one with the sage green and gold, and of course here is the one variegated in red, and then this one we checked in bright green, and of course the other one. that looks like peppermint that's attached to my gift bag. If you want to attach the back on, it's really simple. Like I said, you just print off on sheets some free printable tags, and these are sticky. I wrote to Mom from Dad. You just peel off the back and put it on. They can leave it on there for later, or they can take it off when they want to wash the coasters. And remember, these can be coasters, they can be ornaments, decorations, used for place settings, and of course, gift tags. Lots of fun things to do with this one pattern that's also a scrap happy Christmas pattern. It's really fun, really easy, and has lots of fun applications. My kind of pattern. Have some fun.